This is the Pardo 75, the brand new flagship of the Pardo range, the biggest boat they've ever built, and it's having its world debut here at Cannes. We've tested its smaller sister, the GT52, and this is the new flagship, and it's quite something. Triple IPS, it's got a whole array of different layout options on the inside, which we're going to go into later on. Prices start at around 3.8 million euros, and for a fully spec one like this, you're looking at about 5 million euros. It's a big, ambitious boat for Pardo. Let's have a look around, shall we? I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. If you enjoy our tours, now is a great time to subscribe. Hit subscribe and the bell icon and you'll never miss another one. But let's get on with this one, shall we? Now, one of the key features of the hull design is that it extends all the way back here. This is not a floating platform, it's all hull beneath me, and that means they can extend the engine room space and therefore extend the space on the lower deck in the interior, as we'll find out later on. And it's a really substantial space, and because it's so deep, these are two really large storage areas. These lift up and you can actually put a sea bob on an angle inside both of these. There's also storage for sea bobs and a tender inside the tender garage. And this is a nice little touch. They're getting very excited about these here at Pardo, but these Harken winches rotate and come out of the deck when you want to use them, if you want to tighten your lines when you're stern to, and then they wind back down away so they're flush, so you're not going to catch your toes on them. Of course, these are also pop-up cleats, so you can put those flush to the deck, so when you're not using the mooring gear, it's all flush, so there should be nothing to catch your toe on. And this is a transformer platform as well. So of course the whole platform doesn't go down to the water, but this section goes down and out into the water. It comes up as well, so you can help you onto the quayside. So it's a really cool piece of kit, that. And I like this as well, a proper overhead shower, all nicely made out of carbon fibre, so you can come out of the water, you're not wrestling with a deck shower, you've got a nice shower overhead. It's a nice effect. Let's head to the cockpit. Up towards the cockpit itself then, and you get this sense of the sort of layers of this cockpit arrangement. You've got the platform right down by the water, you've got the cockpit up here where you dine, and then you have this almost mezzanine effect where you've got this huge sunpad. It's so wide, you could comfortably get 6 people on that space. And you've also got the addition of the platforms. Now these are an option, they don't come as standard, but they're a very nice option because you could chuck a beanbag or something down there, and it just gives you a bit more space to walk around. And you can remove these, and they're a really nice place for the kids to be able to jump off into the water. When all of this is combined, it's one hell of a living space. Check out the cockpit. Now this is your dining space. On the way, and I'll just point out that as an option you can have a docking station here for the IPS joystick, so you can be stern to looking at where you're going from the back of the boat, which is quite handy with a boat whose helm is right forward. And then obviously this is the main outdoor dining area really. Nice big table here that opens out to be much larger if you do want to dine out here. Crucially, there's shade overhead, not only from the built-in overhang, but there's also an extendable bimini that gives you even more shade, and that reaches out over the sunpad as well, because that really will catch some sun. And it's a really lovely space because it connects so well with the saloon, and we're going to have a proper look at that in a moment. But I think for now we should head up to the foredeck and check out the living space up there. This all feels very similar to the smaller GT52, even down to the fact that you haven't got guard rails, but you've got these cords with the carbon fibre poles. But because everything is that bit taller, it does feel much safer moving around this boat. Similarly, you've got these clip-in sockets for the fenders. You don't tie the fenders over the railing, so these have got sockets and you clip them in along the edge. And we get to the mooring gear again. It's really, really nicely integrated. It's all pop-up and you can do it at different levels. And then when you don't want to use it, it just clamps down. And nicely, you've got these stainless steel strips as well to stop ropes rubbing on the gel coat. It's up a little step forward past the side door, and then we come to another wonderful living space. It's bathed in the evening sun here. You'll notice the canopy is a little bit low, but it's important because you're going to need shade. But of course, this is a place where you're not really going to be doing much standing. You're relaxing, you're dining, you're using these sun pads. You've got fridges up here as well. So again, you're a long way from the galley here. It just means you've got access to cold drinks and snacks without having to go all the way back there. And what's nice is all of this is very flexible. These aren't actually bolted down. You can stow them away if you want to, but you can move these around this area however you want them. Right forward, obviously that's where the anchor is, an anchor locker. It's also where you have the crew space, and we're going to head down there later on. For now, let's head inside. The side doors play a really important role in the flow of this area. Being able to easily get onto either side of it very quickly from here is very helpful. Of course, you've got this nice big opening aft as well. And this isn't an enormous space for a 75 footer. They have clearly put the bias on the outdoor living spaces, but it's clever because it fully opens up. If you touch this button here, you've got these on both sides. The windows drop down, so you get some natural air coming through here if you want it, and obviously just gives you a slightly better connection to the outside. And talking of that, there's a sunroof overhead, maybe not something you'd expect on a boat of this style. It's not a full sliding roof, it's just a tilt one, but again, it brings in more natural ventilation and crucially gives you lots of light in this area. There are a bewildering array of layout options on board the 75, one of which is to have the galley up, and if you had that, it would be up here. But as we'll see later on, I think there's a very good reason not to do that, and we'll come to that in a second. Of course, you've got your seating area over here with a table that goes up and down and also opens up to enlarge in space if you do want to dine in here, but most of the dining is probably going to be going on out in the cockpit. Now with the galley downstairs, this bar area becomes quite important because of course you can't cook up here, but you've got a sink, you've got cooling space as well, a couple of fridges, and you've got a wine cooler installed down there by the port side door as well. So you have got the facility to serve people on deck without having to go down to the galley. Moving into the helm station, this is quite a long way forward on the boat, so when you sit in the middle, and that's nice that you're right on the centre line, you've got this fabulous all-round view, but you are a long way forward. It feels very manageable. It doesn't feel like you're driving an enormous boat, and of course this isn't a flybridge boat, so this is your only driving position, and it's really well arranged. The three big Garmin MFDs are important because they feed you so much information and giving you navigation obviously, but you can see we've got this suite of cameras, so I can see all areas of the boat, and with this Garmin system I've got the top-down view as well, almost like parking sensors in your car, which is great when you've got this internal helm. That said, as we've seen, you've also got a joystick out on the aft end if you're doing stern to mooring. And this is quite a nice little feature. You can open up a little air vent here. It's a little bit squeaky, but this is not a sunroof. It's a solid panel, but it just actuates up a little bit, and I can feel it already. You're getting some natural breeze again running through here. So if you're running along, possibly not with the air conditioning running, you have got some wind coming in when you're moving through the water. And when you're running along, you'll be running along quite quickly on this thing. It's got triple IPS 1350, so that's 3,000 horsepower. Top speed, they've seen 38.5 knots in trials. So that means it can really comfortably cruise anywhere really between 22 and 30 knots. And under 25 knots, 20-25 knots, you're looking at 400 nautical miles of range. So the cruising ability of this thing, fast cruising, 30 knot cruising, is eminently possible, and that's what it's designed for. Really comfortable, fast GT cruiser. They've sold a couple to Miami already, and I'm not surprised. Right, let's head downstairs. The lower deck in this arrangement delivers a real wow moment. I was all ready to recommend that you go for the galley up arrangement on a boat like this, but there is so much to like about this lower galley that I completely take it back. This is just fabulous. I mean, look at the size of it for a start. It's going to be so much smaller if you have it on the main deck, and if you're running with crew, this gives the crew a proper galley to work with. And of course it's down tucked away from guests, so they can work down here without disturbing anybody. And you've still got this lovely seating area down here as well. And let me tell you, on a warm day like this, coming down into a lovely air-conditioned lower saloon is, it's quiet, it's cold, it's peaceful. And this is also where you'll crash out, because you'll have noticed I didn't point out a TV upstairs. That's because the TV is mounted in there, and that's a really cool idea. It doesn't pop up from anywhere, but there it is, mounted into the island. And this has a very home from home feel, this galley. The way you walk around the island, you've got the full size fridge and freezer over there, an American style fridge freezer, lots of storage underneath the counter, microwave up there, twin sink. It's a proper galley. You know, this looks like a real show pony from the outside, but this is a really well designed galley. You've even got venting for the hob tucked in beneath here. Very, very cool bit of design. And this is where we get into the different options, because this boat's got 2 cabins. You can have 3 cabins and still have a seating area down here with the galley up on deck, or you can have 4 cabins. So if you're chartering and you want to maximise sleeping space, that's a really good option. If you want massive cabins that are very luxurious and lots of living space in between, this 2 cabin variant is great, and we're going to start with the VIP. On the way in though, it's worth pointing out this little area here. This is a small utility space where you've got some countertop, some extra storage, but also the washer and dryer. It's nice to have that tucked away in a space you can actually go into. It's not just a cupboard that leads out into the hallway. And then moving into the VIP itself, This is a lovely space, very, very wide. They've pushed right out to the beam for this interior space, and you do feel that down here. It's a lovely beamy boat. Headroom is decent all round. There's a little step up either side of the bed, but again, like the Galley, storage is plentiful, both hanging lockers, drawer storage all over the place, and you've got a nice TV up on this bulkhead here. And then by this hanging storage, you've got a private ensuite, of course, and this is a good size. It's enough space for them to tuck a separate shower cubicle around there, obviously your toilet and your sink, and yet more storage space in there as well. Let's head to the master. Despite having 2 cabins with private bathrooms, they've still found space for a massive dayhead. So big, in fact, it's got a shower in there, so that's a really nice touch for guests to use during the day. And then you come through the doorway and the beam explodes again into this midship owner's cabin. Look at the floor space around here. It's just absolutely vast, and that's with a huge bed offset in the center here, and that is really easy to move around. It's all flat floor. As you can see, headroom is really good throughout, and just look at the storage in here. I mean, this is the hanging storage. It's massive, and you've got yet more drawer storage dotted around all over the place. There's a bureau opposite the bed, and obviously the TV mounted up on the wall, and then this sofa down here where you can really stretch out because there is just so much floor space in this cabin. It feels really, really luxurious. And then the bathroom in this cabin is actually located forward. It's really, really nicely finished. And look at the size of the shower cubicle. It's got these doors that swing open saloon style, and then masses of space in here. Rain shower head. There's a shower on a wand as well. There's even a teak seat, so you can take your seat and relax in the shower. Over there, there's space for a toilet and a bidet. Lovely big sink with storage underneath as well. In this 2 cabin, guys, these cabins feel so luxurious. It's a fabulous layout. Right, let's head over to the crew cabin. Well, I think we've found our first major compromise on the Pardo 75, and that is the crew space. It's tucked right forward here, so it's the opposite end of the boat from the engine room. It's also pretty tight. You're coming through this hatch, down a ladder. There are 2 bunks down here, but they are packed in, and then you've got a separate, well, yeah, it's not a wet room, it is a bathroom. It's got a separate shower cubicle. The space in there isn't too bad, but 2 people moving around down here, living down here, would be pretty uncomfortable. Let's check out the engine room. And this is how you get into the engine room on the Pardo 75. Flip this cushion over, and then there's a hatch that leads down a ladder into the engine space. Well, having 3 engines is always going to make things pretty tight in the engine space. Of course, you've got this big lump in the middle that you wouldn't ordinarily have. However, you can get around the engines reasonably comfortably. You can get down between them, you can get to the pods okay. It's got a tender garage as well, so there's always going to be compromises overhead too. It's got a lot of kit in here. We've got our gyro stabilizer here. We've got twin generators as well. So yeah, it's packed in, but actually, although headroom isn't great, being able to visually inspect everything and get down to the main parts isn't too bad. And it's all lined out as well. It's molded, so it's not hard metal floor. So scrambling around down here isn't too bad. There you have it then. That is the biggest Pardo ever built, and it's an impressive machine designed to waft fast and comfortably from place to place, looking great and then being a lot of fun when you stop. Of course, we can't fully give our verdict until we've driven it, which we hope to do very soon, so subscribe now so you don't miss that, and do let me know in the comments below what you think of this new flagship from Pardo. Thank you very much for watching that tour of the Pardo 75. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a like if you did. And if you want to watch my sea trial of this boat's little sister, the GT52, I'll put that up there. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.